Buckeyes are preparing for battle, and you're preparing to listen to them. Equally important, this is Fan Warmup.
The Fan Warmup Show is presented by the Ohio State University Army ROTC. Buckeyes lead the way.
All right, Buckeye basketball fans, still me. It's Timmy Hall as we roll on and we get ready for Ohio State taking on Nebraska, the last regular season game at the Schottenstein Center this year. 2 regular season games left to go. It's this one tonight against the Cornhuskers, and it's Saturday afternoon on the road at Assembly Hall against Indiana. Now, when you look at Indiana, Nebraska, and Ohio State, all 3 of those teams are fighting to get into the NCAA tournament. Ohio State has a good-looking resume that would have them in at the moment. A lot of places you look at, they could be the last team in. If you look at ESPN's bracketology, they're on that line, in that group of last 4 teams in. There's some other Ohio squads that are closing in now. Xavier, they've got a big winning streak going on. They're in that next 4 in. Cincinnati is that next 4 out quadrant there, those 14 packs, the way that bracketology does it there. But this is obviously a critical part of the season where, at the very least, and I do feel this in my heart, I know with this being the last home game, and I know that this program has not performed the way that they have wanted to at home this year with the 6 losses. They will be energized. I don't care how many people are actually in the building. It's just, you hope that the people that do make it out there for this late tip-off on a Tuesday night, you're loud and you're energized as well. I know it's not going to be 18 or 19,000 in the building for this one, but the ones that go, you're going to be excited to be there and excited to cheer this team on as they make this push to get into the tournament. And I know the team, regardless of what it's like, they will be locked in, they will be energized, they will be focused. There's not going to be any lackadaisical basketball from these guys because there is no time to mess around and do that. We've talked about it a couple of times since the game, and we can hopefully soon stop bringing it up, but there's no more Northwestern performance to be had. That's gone. That I'd like to think snapped them out of it. They didn't win the UCLA game, but thank goodness they won the next game on the trip last time out, beating USC in a game with some offensive fireworks where USC actually shot at 60%, but the Buckeyes were pretty good too and shot at right around 55% and still won the game with a big Devin Royal play late. Well, the other thing that's special about this game, and I want to hear Coach Jake Diebler talk about it, is the fact that it's senior night. Micah Parrish was already honored at San Diego State. He's not going to be recognized tonight, but Quez Glover and Kalen Etzler for the players. And managers Nick Moore and Eric Oberholzer, equipment manager Kyle Peters, student trainer Taylor Finnerty, social media manager Enrique Cabotage, all are going to get honored prior to the game. So it's a cool thing. And Jake Diebler commenting on his philosophy with this on his coach's show this week.
Well, I think it's important to acknowledge and listen, who gets honored on senior night is different now, right, than it traditionally used to be. So the big thing is I think it's important to honor people. I'm fine with kind of doing it before the game and, giving guys and their families a chance to have that moment. I think that's really special. And I think about a guy like Kalen Etzler, right, who's going to get his degree from Ohio State this year. And, for he and his family to be able to experience that moment is really important. There's a big game to be played, right? And that's where our focus is, but we also certainly want to celebrate that, and also our managers. I think you think about, like for us, it's Nick and Eric, them, right? What they do on a daily basis, and having done that now for multiple years, to get their degree from Ohio State this spring, to be a part of this basketball family, which they very much are, right? Even though they don't get to score any points on game day, they have important jobs too. Mm-hmm. And so for them and their families, to have that moment, I think it's really special.
I love hearing Jake break it down that way. Even guys that aren't really on the roster, they're still very much a part of this team. If they're around there, if they're with the guys every single day, every single practice, on road trips, you absolutely are a part of a team. I'm a big believer in that. I mean, we talk to a lot of guys on the Buckeye show, and we speak to former players who go on to the pros, but they might not necessarily be the guys that are padding in the stats department. But they're just as, if they feel that they're pouring their heart and soul into every day that they're in the facility or at practice, then enjoy the championships that you win, enjoy everything that the team accomplishes just the same, because you're a part of that. And we talked to Paris Campbell, who just got a Super Bowl ring. And he was out there for 16 plays in the Super Bowl. He didn't register a catch or yards, and he didn't have a big statistical season, but he was really proud of that. And I was proud of him for thinking of it that way, because he should. I'd like to think that you should. And so that's great that the Buckeye basketball team will do that on this day. But hey, they got to get it done on the court. And it's tonight. It's Nebraska. It's a team that beat them in Lincoln. So there's some payback. There's charging to make an NCAA tournament bid late in the season, and that's big. Let's keep breaking it down with Ron Stokes.
It's time to go inside the Buckeyes with OSU basketball analyst and former captain Ron Stokes.
All right, Ron. I was saying before, at the very least, there's got to be a look in your eyes when you take the court tonight. If you're an Ohio State Buckeye, I'm pretty sure they're going to have it.
Yeah, I think so. Especially the guys where this is pretty much going to be their last game wearing the scarlet and gray. And I look at Micah Parrish, who's one of the most experienced players in all of college basketball, active players. I'm expecting a big night for him. He knows how important this is in terms of getting into the tournament. You and I talked about this before the USC game, before the UCLA. They need to win these two. There's no doubt about it, to kind of seal it, in my opinion. But you can't win two unless you win this first one, right? So they got to focus on this Nebraska team. Is very good. They're hungry. And, the other thing, Tim, similar to Ohio State, Nebraska loses 2 games in a row by a margin, a total of 5 points.
Yeah.
Look at their record had they won those games instead of being where they are. They're 19-10, 9-9 in conference play.
Big
Entirely different story.
Yeah, no, you're right. And we've been living on that edge for the last part of a month, right, with the Buckeyes, where every game is such a big swing game. When you're living in that spot where you're only like 2 or 3 games away from being 500, every game. It's like when we talk in a game, right? You miss a shot, you give up a 3 at the other end. Those 5-point swings in a ball game, if it's inside of 5 minutes, can be crippling. But to the basketball part, Ron, what does Ohio State really need to do well to make sure that they clean up Nebraska here?
Well, clearly, Bryce Williams has hurt so many teams. I mean, in the game against Ohio State the first time, he didn't do it with his scoring. He had 4 assists, and he was just that leader, that facilitator in that ball game. And if you remember, DeJuan Gary got in foul trouble in that first half, and Ohio State took advantage of it, got out to a nice lead. But when DeJuan Gary came back in, him and Bryce Williams has been magnificent together this year.
Yeah.
With scoring and being effective. And those two in the second half was so impactful. So I think the key to tonight is just making sure that Bryce Williams just didn't have one of those super games, because he's capable of putting up 30-plus. He's that skilled. So I think that's going to be very important tonight, because if I'm Bryce Williams, a team that's lost 3 in a row, he's going to come out and try to do and start from the very beginning. So they got to make sure he doesn't get off to a great start and have a big game tonight.
I would love to see the Ohio State defense have a game here. Mentioning how good the offense comes from DeJuan Gary and Bryce Williams, like you mentioned. They had 24 and 19 in that last game, and they both went for 20-plus even in the loss. Hold a team around 40% shooting. I would love for that to be a goal for this Buckeye defense tonight.
Now, we joked about it after the game. Well, Jake didn't think it was he wanted better defense. But you when you look at how well, even though they won the ball game, both teams shot over 50%. I mean,
they shot 60 on him, USC.
He wants their defense to be better, Tim, and they cannot play that type of defense tonight against Nebraska. The defense has got to be better. He knows that. It was an emphasis, so we'll see if that defensive mindset comes out there. And there's a lot to prove if you're Ohio State. The last time they played at home in this building, it did not go well, and I think you have got to come back and remember that game, because this is on your home court. You got destroyed. That cannot happen. That's not Ohio State basketball.
Yeah, and Bruce Thornton, I think, missed the home game last year. It was like the only game in his career that he missed. He had a migraine. He had a good week out there, 20.5 points per game, made all his free throws, had 8 assists, did not have a turnover. So hopefully he stays hot. Ron, it's a big one tonight. Let's go and get a W on senior night.
They're all big in March, man. Go Bucks.
That's right. March Madness, baby. There's Ron Stokes. Can't wait to hear the pregame show with Paul, Ron, and Skip Mossick coming up here. 45 minutes of good pregame action as we get ready for the last home game in the regular season. It is that time of year. It is the Ohio State Buckeyes trying to make their push for the NCAA tournament It is the Nebraska Cornhuskers trying to do the exact same thing. Buckeye basketball coming up next, right here on The Fan.
You've been listening to Fan Warmup.
The Fan Warmup Show is presented by the Ohio State University Army ROTC. Buckeyes lead the way.
Stay tuned for Buckeye basketball on your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC. Buckeyes lead the way.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. You know what's better than new windows? A new window from Universal Windows Direct that's on sale. It's the tax time sale. You save big while making your home comfortable and energy efficient. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free. Plus, you pay no interest till 2030. Plus, you get an extra $500 off your home improvement project in March only. Schedule your free home estimate today, 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. You know, as much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get Eco.
Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 or free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get Eco.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get Eco.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get Eco.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
For 100 years, our passionate Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Are you turning 65? Are you looking for Medicare Advantage coverage? Great news! The Ohio State Health Systems and Mount Carmel Health Systems are in our provider network. Aetna has Medicare Advantage plans that include prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, the plans include benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-888-76-AETNA to learn more. One of our licensed agents will answer your call. Call today, 1-888-76-AETNA. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our D-SNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area. Participating healthcare providers are independent contractors and are neither agents nor employees of Aetna. The availability of any particular provider cannot be guaranteed, and provider network composition is subject to change. Other physicians, providers are available in our network.
Brighten your home and save big money on light bulbs at Menards. Get a stylish vintage look, plus the latest in LED technology with Fight Electric Enhance light bulbs. They provide vivid, natural light. Save big money on a 4-pack of Fight Electric Enhance light bulbs on sale now through March 9th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save